Right folks, it's time for a long overdue update on the little Audi TT. There's been lots and lots going on, but I must admit that some of the filming and editing's got on top of me a bit, and I did lose a few crucial bits of footage, which is quite annoying. This front wing, I've actually resprayed. I'm going to show you that now in primer. I did have footage of me doing a little bit of filling on there. There was a tiny little crack in the front of it, if you remember. I'll see if I can pop some footage of that up on the screen. I then primed it, flattened it down, and I've painted it and cleared it. I still need to polish all this, get the orange peel out of the clear coat finish. I don't know how well you can see it on there, but it looks kind of a bit matte and a bit orange peely, but I'll polish that out. It's a bit more of a shiny finish like this. The exterior of the car has had a once over with the machine polisher, but there's still more work to be done there. I haven't sort of finished it off as yet. In terms of maintenance, you will see we now have a new set of front brake discs and some Brembo brake pads, which is great. The old discs were looking fairly lipped and grooved. They went through the MOT, but you don't want a car like this that's not capable of stopping fairly quickly. The glove box is still missing from the car. Where's that? Well, the glove box is still sitting here in my house. I took it out and repaired it. If you remember, the door used to fall off. It now doesn't. It now opens and closes. There is a little bit of a scuff on here, but that's just one of those things. It is an old car, so I'm not too fussed. A replacement one of these from a scrapyard in good nick, about 350 quid, so I decided to repair it. So I just need to get that refitted into the car, but I'm not going to do that until the stereo situation's sorted. As you can see, that's still not in. The car's actually going to go and spend a day with the auto electrician. He's going to install a new amp and completely rewire the stereo system, because it's going to be much easier than trying to find the fault. Massive shout out to the auto electricians, by the way, Sean and Jeff. They've been incredibly helpful. They've put hours and hours into little bits and bobs on the car, and we're going to end up with a car that's basically in better condition electronically than when it left the factory, I think. I had the very common issue with the rear brake light, where you get a fault that comes up, and it's because Audi basically didn't use strong enough earth cable. That's all been corrected. That'll never come up again, so that's absolutely brilliant. So in the boot, it's still a bit of a mess at the moment, because obviously there's still a lot of electrical work to be done with that stereo and what have you. I have fixed the parcel shelf. Again, massively common issue on Mark II TTs. I've actually repaired it myself, and it's now stronger than it would have been out of the factory. Unbelievably, these brackets that hold the parcel shelf on are held on with tiny little bits of plastic and essentially sort of glued to the side. I've now gone in and done a much more permanent repair. I've replaced a couple of tools from the back here, like the standard sort of Audi screwdriver and whatnot, and a locking wheel nut, which I got off eBay for 17 quid, which was pretty decent, I thought. You'll also notice that the back windows have now been tinted. They've been done to Audi privacy glass spec, so it doesn't look too much like a drug dealer's car, but it certainly makes it a bit more comfortable in there. The aircon's all working brilliantly well. We've also done an engine oil and filter service on the car, and a fuel filter service. Now, the car's got pretty decent service history, but it doesn't seem to have had a fuel filter for ages for some reason, so I've done that as well. And a couple of other little mechanical bits. Spent about 350 quid on that so far. So I have got quite a few more videos to make with the car yet. There'll be one where I'm using the OBD11 scanner to program a few things into the car and just show you what you can do with that. Obviously there'll be a review of this car stereo unit when that goes in. That's cost me quite a lot of money now, folks, I must admit. Unfortunately, I don't think the road trip that I had planned for the car, if you remember, I was thinking of taking it to Nürburgring or something like that. I don't think that's going to happen. At the time, I was talking to a couple of sponsors for that, and they've both kind of pulled out with the recession happening, and I've spent too much money on the car as it is. So I'll probably finish making my videos over the next couple of months and then look to sell the car on, unfortunately, because we need to buy a new family car, as the old Touran over here will soon be going back at the end of its lease. I think I'm going to sell the car before I get the cam belt and the automatic gearbox service done, simply because I don't really have the money lying around to get them done at the moment. The cam belt's supposed to be done at like 115,000 miles on one of these, but I would personally get it done because of how old the car is. I think you should do a cam belt probably every 5 years, and this one's certainly a fair bit older than that if it is the original. There's certainly nothing in the documentation to suggest it's not. So I would strongly suggest getting the cam belt done and water pump and that. When you do it, it's about 450 quid all done. So the automatic gearbox service, I think was last done at 38,000 miles. The car's now about 86, 87,000 miles from top of my head. That needs to be done, and it will also just need to be restored to basic settings using VCDS after service has been done. And you can get everything sort of realigned to sort of allow for the wear and tear that's happened in the car. It shifts absolutely brilliantly and it's super smooth, apart from sometimes your initial pull away and sticking it in reverse sometimes can just be jerky, and I'm sure a service and adjustment will absolutely sort that out. I think that's about 200, 250 quid, so it's not the end of the world, and it's well worth getting done. Like I say, still plenty to come on the Audi TT, unless things change with that sponsor. It doesn't look like I'll be doing the road trip, unfortunately, which is a real shame. Thanks ever so much for watching, folks. Please like, please subscribe, please be happy. Thanks. I've done a deal with 𝙇𝙄𝙉𝙆𝙎, who I think are one of the premier providers of online car history checks. As you can see here on this quick sample report, you can check the registered VIN number against the one that's actually on the vehicle. You can see the current MOT and road tax status. Has the car ever been stolen? Is there outstanding finance? Has it been an insurance write-off? If so, what kind? If it has been, can you see photos of the car before the damage was repaired? You know, you might see this car now and it's in perfect condition, but does seeing these images of it at the time of the accident make you change your mind possibly? Has it been a taxi? Number of previous keepers and the dates for those, number plate changes, mileage records. This is great because you can see any discrepancies in the mileage in a really easy to follow way. So if it done 50,000 one year, 40 the next, you know there's a problem. You've also got the MOT history checks all built into this one single report, and it'll give you a basic car valuation. The bundles start from £1.60 a check, but I would all strongly recommend you go for the full check. Now I've done a deal with 𝙇𝙄𝙉𝙆𝙎. They do pay me if you use my link, so please do that because it helps support the channel. And I have to tell you that this is a completely unbiased recommendation. You should never buy a used car without running these kind of checks, and this is a fantastic one. Please use the link in the video description and help support the channel.